to We Need to Talk. Today's episode, we have this Hairaconda, Shantal. Shantal, introduce yourself.
Hi, we need to talk. I'm Shantal, otherwise known as Hairaconda on Instagram, Twitter, don't follow me there, TikTok, and YouTube. Or if you're Bajan, you say Hairaconda. I'm 31. I am an opera singer and a content creator.
Okay, lots of things, entrepreneur.
I guess I don't want to have to be.
What would you like to do?
I would like to be supported by somebody rich.
Yes, we love that energy. Love that energy. Rich people energy. Okay, so your icebreaker question is, what's one thing about you that people wouldn't guess just by looking at your social media?
That's a hard one because I overshare. Ooh, one thing they wouldn't guess is that I don't like social interaction because I cosplay as social. I'm not actually social.
Wow. You see, that is one thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that. Okay, so you started as question mark.
I started social media as Shans_NJ because every piece of social media I have to date has been because Nick Jonas was on it before me, and I really thought that if I joined every social media account that he was on, he would find me, we would get married and live happily ever after. Jury's still out.
Priyanka Chopra really sabotaged you.
They can divorce. She's an old lady. She's gonna die first. So
not that she's gonna die first.
Rest in peace, Priyanka. But there's still time. Nick, if you see this. Yes.
What was that child's name?
I don't know. That's not my business.
Yes, because you have to be stepmom.
Boarding school, Switzerland.
Are you trying to entice Nick, or are you trying to?
He might not like that child either. You never know. I'm sure he likes that child. I'm sure you love that child.
It's his child, so I would think that he loves that child. Okay, so we started as Shan_NJ.
_NJ.
_NJ. And then we progressed into Hairaconda. How?
I was dating somebody and they did not like that I had Nick Jonas's initials in my Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube bios. So I had to change it one time. And it was when Nicki Minaj had Anaconda. And at the time, I think all of my captions on Instagram were song lyrics, and I would narcissistically make them have to do with me. And so it was a day I was literally in my friend's apartment. My hair was really, really big. And I took a picture and I was like, oh, my hair not missing no meals. Period. And then I had Hairaconda. And then the person I was dating was like, oh, that's a lovely name. How unique. Change your name right now. And I did. Girls, don't change yourself for men. But that was a good thing that he told me to do. A little bit iconic.
Okay.
This is so problematic.
Right.
And iconic at the same time.
Exactly. Down with men. But sometimes they have points.
They do. Oh, I've seen your videos where you say, like, the last one where you're like, oh, sometimes when I drink, I feel like if men should be.
Yes! Oh my god, that was, I hate that. Sometimes I drink and I see, like, obviously because Barbados is small, so you have context of people's relationships for no reason. But I'll be out and I'll be drinking, getting all my martinis in, and I would look around at a boy that I know, like, if I'm not sober, I'd be like, yuck, hate you. But now that I'm not sober, I'm like, I feel so deeply because the person you are is not the person you should be. And I want to help. And that is a fatal flaw. Don't drink.
Why don't we want to help? Why don't we try to make the male race better? I'm going to say male race. Race better.
Species.
Yep.
They're not my problem, truly. they should fix themselves because they caused their own problems. So I don't want to help.
I feel that. I can see that. Okay, so what's been the most surprising thing that you've learned about yourself through your like content creation, social media, school, anything?
I think the most interesting thing that I've learned about myself is that I could do things, which I feel like sounds vague, but no, like I actually do things. Like I could wake up and be like, today I think I could create something, and then I like half-assedly watch a video and then I create it. And so I'm like, am I a genius
I love
or
that.
not?
I could do that. I also do that. Like I just watch art videos because I like to draw. I like to paint and stuff. And then I go on TikTok University and I teach myself how to do it.
Give me a basic outline and I'm gonna do it. Does that mean maybe I'm a builder in this society? Maybe I should have been an engineer. But instead, I'm gonna put makeup on.
Makeup engineer.
Very grounding.
Okay, so I want to take a pause and because we're going to get back to social media and we're going to go deeper. I want to talk about the opera singing. I want to talk about you as a musician, your love for music from the time that you were young. How did that grow? Why go to school to be an opera singer?
I think this is something that I've been thinking about for a very long time is I don't think I love music. I think I like attention. And so that pans out into theater arts. Because I don't have to sing. I could be on TV. I could act. I can do whatever. I think it's the art of creating something and being able to pretend to be somebody else that I enjoy. Opera music is just dramatic. There's a flair. There's like a real sense of, oh, these bitches been going through shit since the early 1800s, and it's the same shit we're going through now, except with less tuberculosis. I get that. So it's just like, when it came time to deciding what to do, everybody was like, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a lawyer, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, boring. Where's the excitement? And the excitement was like, maybe I should go spend the amount of money that it takes to become a doctor. To sing shit no one wants to hear. That iconic behavior.
So why opera? Like,
it's the only thing I can sing. I can sing musical theater now, I've realized. But what happened was I was like at my grandmother's house and her neighbor listened to a lot of opera CDs. And I would listen through her like fence and I would sing along. So maybe I can't sing. I also struggle with that. Maybe I can't sing. Maybe I'm good at impersonations. I can't do any other people's impersonations, so I don't have any basis for that thought. But like she would play it and I would sing along. And then she got annoyed because that's weird. So she invited me over and I would spend like a lot of time with her and she would just play through like CDs of like all the opera she would listen to and I would just sit and listen with her. So it's because of her that I started doing voice lessons or anything like that. And I think I was 8 maybe. So that's why opera. Because I would have tried to sing something else, but after you train in opera first, that's it. You're gonna sound ridiculous singing anything else. It's like watching a ballerina do hip hop for the first time, or a deer walking on its legs after being born. It's just awkward. It's not the vibe.
If you're liking this episode, please like, subscribe, press the bell notification, share, and comment.
So, I feel the whole liking attention thing. See it? I don't think you're fully seeing yourself 100%.
Probably not.
But we're not gonna do the therapist thing in the chair right now. So, as a content creator, why hair, why makeup?
So what happened was, it happened around when I left for school, but it started before school because I was always creating stuff. And again, the stuff always surrounded Nick Jonas. So one time on Facebook, I saw an arts and crafts thing with like the cap, the like bottle thingies. People were making jewelry out of it. And one day I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do something. So I made like a headband, but in the center was a picture of Nick Jonas. And like I posted that on Facebook, because why would I not? Right? And I just kept doing things like that. And it was more like fashion vibes or nails. Like that was the first thing I was posting. I was posting always like nail polishes and random fashion crafts, like thrift flips. That was the vibe for Facebook. And then when I left to go to school, I was probably like one of 4 in my class of this color, and that dwindled to just me by the time I was in my, I want to say senior year, or yeah, it would have been senior year. And for that, we have productions every year. We audition for all of them. I was the lead of all of them. But for the senior one, it was like our biggest one yet. And we had to have like makeup done, hair styled. The opera was called Cunning Little Vixen, and it's from the composer Janacek. So it's sung in Czech, but we were singing it in English that year because we run on cycles for our school system. So one year you get English, one year you get French, blah, blah, blah. We were on the English year. We did Janacek. I was the vixen. So all of our costuming was like animals. So this was also kind of how I got into special effects makeup in general. But basically what I realized is that I would go into these, what we would have our like wig calls, our makeup calls, and no one knew what to do with my hair, no one knew what to do with my like makeup, no one had a clue. And so I started doing like little videos, just being like, oh, like this is how I like my makeup, this is maybe how like other singers should do their makeup for auditions, that kind of stuff. And all of this I used to post on Snapchat. I used to post all my tutorials on Snapchat first, then I made my way over to YouTube, and then I made my way over to Instagram. But
and now you do your yearly Halloween.
And now I do like yearly Halloween, but it really just started because there was a lack of education in the space that I was for what was needed for people that look like me. My mother is a makeup artist and an esthetician, so I always knew what worked for me. But I never had to do it myself because she would do everything for me for shows and everything that I would have had while I still lived here. So when I moved away, I kind of had to be an adult. And that coincided with having to do like makeup and hair and skin and all that for myself. And I already overshared things about Nick Jonas. So I was like, why can't I share this? And that's kind of what that became. And I just kind of share things that I want. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you really make social media a career? Because I know it can start, as you just said, started as smaller, just tutorial type, just for some people to see. But what one was the spark that was like, I could do this as a career, and then two, like, why would I go into that as a career versus being a traditional makeup artist? Or
yeah, the reason why I won't be a makeup artist is because I don't want to do anything for anybody else. That's just the crux of the matter. I don't want to stand up and do your makeup. That's not exciting for me. I do it for some people, mostly like my mommy's clients, because they're like usually older girls that don't like the style of makeup that people do nowadays, and my style of makeup is very much like you but better. And so I do it for them because I'm a great person. But outside of that, influencing as a career, obviously now it's a career, so now people purposely do it. Like we're purposely having a podcast. Before it really was just maybe you have no friends and you talk to a camera a lot.
yes, that.
And
that's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is how someone gets friends. So when it became a career, I was literally living in like a basement in New York with like 3 other roommates, and I think brands were reaching out to us at that time to send like free products and all that kind of stuff. I think Maybelline was probably the first brand that ever reached out.
Because they asked you have colors first.
Right. And the gag is those colors wasn't even that good, child. But they were like, we'll offer you $100. And I was like, $100 in this New York economy? Absolutely, I'll take it in my rat-infested basement apartment. Yes. And that I hold close because that was like my first deal ever. First $100 ever. And then when I got further on, I was like, wait, I should have asked for way more money, but I didn't have that knowledge at first because it was just me creating and looking at a camera by myself. There was no one else around me that was doing it. But because New York is New York, everything is a social meetup, everything is a networking event. So we started having, like, I guess the advent of PR events. And so you get invited. Yeah, more fun, free stuff. You go and then you meet more people, and then that's kind of how it expands. And then you realize, oh, this is actually a job. I say this, but like, I don't know if you remember, but small sister Kayla and I go on side quests, and one of my side quests, actually it wasn't really a side quest because I was creating fashion content. I decided that I was going to be, before singing, before social media, I wanted to be fashion or like beauty journalism. And in order to follow that dream, I needed to be in the land of fashion journalism, which would have been New York because it would have been where Teen Vogue was. And so Teen Vogue they still have a program, but it was a program specifically for us to kind of sit down and have face-to-face contact with designers and editors and all these people in the industry to kind of like solidify internships and all that kind of jazz. You had to apply, they had to accept you. It was called Teen Vogue University. Still a thing, but now it's political because Teen Vogue is woke. And so I was already in that space of the industry, and I just never thought about it until while I was living in New York this time and being like, oh, this is kind of what I was already doing. It's just makeup focus now, and I just need to actually befriend people, which was difficult because I don't do that easily. I'm quite awkward in social settings, and yeah, I befriended people and they were like, oh, we make money.
Tell that.
Yeah, no, because you know me. And you've known me since I was a child, and I've known you since you were a child. So you don't get the like, oh, I have to introduce myself to somebody. Kill me! I think at music school, because I was so aloof, who would have thought, the jazz musicians, they call me mean black girl. Period.
Not mean black girl. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, or they would say hot black girl. They just go in between whatever they would feel.
I would live for the hot black girl one.
I mean, yeah, it's a bunch of Jewish little boys who play like jazz music calling you hot black girl.
Eat it up and say, man ain't shit, but I'll take it. Whatever.
Yeah, so I had to learn like a million skills at one time, and it just turned out to be okay. You can make money from just putting stuff on your face, and that was cool. I don't know where we went. We rambled.
Yeah, we're yap yappers, and that's okay. We love a yap yap. This is supposed to be a yap yap.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get lost.
We're
supposed to be confused as to what the original point was. We're just getting to know vibing. But we'll recenter on, do you find that you get a lot of hate? Are you getting a lot of support? Is it hard for you? Were you getting criticism? Did you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should go the traditional route?
I've honestly never had that feeling, but I'm delusional. So, like, if anybody hates me, I have no clue. I actually have no clue. So if you do it, you need to do it a lot better. Because I don't know. One time at school, this is the only time I knew. One time at school, at Colmere, they made a Facebook group saying we hate Shantal Martin, and people joined it. And I was like, period. Infamy. Eat it up. But I don't take things seriously. So even that, I was just like, that's crazy. Y'all made me a Facebook group. Wild.
Unintentionally made you popular.
Yeah. I want to be that Delulu and just eat up and be like, I'm living for this, because even though y'all hate me, y'all took the time, the dedication. It's still love. There's a thin line between love and hate.
And I think I knew. I feel like they did it as a joke. I'm like, that's so funny, ha, he, ha, ha.
It was like you're selling it as that, but
so
I hate her.
I look on that fondly. And then, like, obviously, like, people were just joining Facebook groups back in the day as well. So I had, like, hella followers. But it's because people just join Facebook groups. And maybe those people in Switzerland know a Shantal Martin, so they have to join it. Because they
People
also...
in Switzerland?
Like, it was just, like, random people. So then that made me feel even better.
That went from being a hate group to a fan group.
Like,
That's a fan group. That's a fan group.
yeah, but I don't think they, like, posted anything in it. I wouldn't know.
You didn't join?
No, I didn't join.
I would have joined. I would have petitioned to be the president of my...
Yeah,
I
something.
hate me.
I wasn't paying... That's long as I don't pay attention. Like, I saw it, I heard about it, I giggled, and then I went to ballet, and I was like, okay, I have to become a star, I'm busy. So, yeah, like, I don't know. But I'm sure people...
Tell me how to be like you. Because I want to be like you.
No, because maybe not. Like, when I think about it...
I need this energy. I need to... Because right now when I post this content, when I post any content, I'm judging myself. I'm like, oh, you suck at this. This is awful. Like, this is gonna flop. This is not gonna go anywhere. And I just beat myself up.
Okay, so my solve for that, I don't post anything that doesn't make me smile when I'm editing it.
I laugh at myself all the time, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm not funny.
Who else cares though?
You are hilarious. And that's also what edited hilarious.
Here, gas me up, Days. Gas me up.
But also, it literally doesn't matter. And I think that's my... To everyone around me, I say that all the time. And I feel like they like it, but they also hate it. I feel like they hate it more because literally nothing matters.
True.
When I'm editing and I go, hee, Shantal, that's so funny. Or like a gentle smile. I'm like, yeah, I'm posting this. Who the heck cares? You not posting nothing. Loser. So,
Fair. That is true.
yeah.
Like, most people who are criticizing don't have the guts to do what we do.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, keyboard warriors. This is awful. This introduction was too long.
Yeah.
Why did you say this? You
And to
said
be
this
fair-
word so weird.
No, maybe help the people create and then sit down and be like, oh, this potentially next 20 years.
Yeah, never see it again. I mean, there's videos like that I have. Like, there's tons of things in my phone that I've edited that I haven't posted, and it's more so because I think now social media is a different system in itself. So there's a lot more eyes and a lot more judgment. But it's always been cringe. It's always been lame to sit and talk to a camera. It's still not any cooler. You could just become a billionaire from it. But you can also become a billionaire by ruining the environment. So, like,
I mean, technically,
Might-
social media ruined the environment too.
literally,
Technically.
we're circle here.
My
It's a circle.
takeaway is, one, be delusional.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah, for sure. I think the two go hand in hand.
Okay. So, how do you balance all these roles? Because we've talked about so much things. We haven't even like touched on you being a dancer.
Oh yeah, period. I was gonna grab my leg, but I decided not to. I felt it.
We love when we contain those intricate thoughts.
Yeah.
But I would have supported a leg grab
Yeah.
because
There's still time.
every time I can show somebody my point,
Yeah!
it's like,
Still at it.
every time I can show somebody all the trauma that I went through, all the work that I put through
Talents are talents.
in these calves, in those choles. You put yourself through so, like, Jared is looking at me crazy, but you don't understand the level of stress, the level of trauma, especially if
Absolutely.
you were dancing like 4 times a week.
Absolutely.
Like, your body was just like ready to give up, and you're like, no, I'm gonna keep going. I like this. This is fun. And then sometimes it wasn't fun, but you were like, my friends are here, so I'll be here.
It's very serious vibes over here.
That's crazy. So crazy.
Dedication. Dedication.
Serious vibes.
Yeah. So we talked about so much, but
Nothing
we
at
haven't
all.
really. How do you balance all of it? How do you say, oh, I'm going to be a hairstyle content creator, social media influencer, makeup, opera, all of the things?
I don't think I balance it well at all. And I'm going to be super honest. Whereas, like, if I wasn't living here, I think my balance would be a lot better because what I'll be doing would be more lucrative. because as it stands, to create content here, low-key waste of my resources, because where am I going? Nowhere with the makeup. But nothing is monetizable here. Obviously now I think our scope of Barbados businesses are monetizing, but the niche in which I am, beauty, we don't have no beauty companies here. We have agencies that support other beauty brands, and those are brands that I've worked with overseas already, that I was used to raking in dollars from, and now everybody here is trying to keep up.
So because you moved, you don't really work with them anymore?
No, you can't.
Why?
Well, because I don't live in America, one. They usually want you to live in America. They want your demographics to reflect majority American following, because that's what's important to them. And then like tax situations, and then also customs, because makeup moves at light speed. So like if a mascara is trending today, they want me to post it today. They don't want me to post it when customs release it in 6 months.
Okay.
Which I actually have a case going on, not case, like it's not legal, but like Makeup Forever sent cupcakes with like lip liners in October, and I saw that and I saw all my friends get it, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, everybody's getting cupcakes, I wonder when I'll get them. I just got the email yesterday. $115 to clear cupcakes
That you probably can't
that I can't eat. 4 lip liners and 4 little makeup palettes. And no one's posting about it, so it doesn't even matter. I would have to post, watch me eat 10-month-old cupcakes. That's insane. Yeah.
It is.
But that's not to say that there are not other avenues of influencing that work. Like yapping can work. I've recently realized that, because I just had a campaign with my favorite TV show Outlander, and they paid me like $20 for like a TikTok US, and I was like, oh, this is so easy, I already watch TV and I can watch it from anywhere.
Bank.
Customs doesn't have a case on my like TV watching, but you know, they have to find you, so I was lucky that they found me.
Let's get a little bit more vulnerable.
Ooh.
Let's talk about self-care a little bit. Do you feel as though you prioritize self-care? Since personally, I feel like with social media creation and being online, you don't get to leave the office and leave it there and go home, or have a weekend, or have a month of like nothing. Your phone is always in your hand, even if you try to turn off things. So like, how do you prioritize self-care? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I read a lot. I think that's usually my self-care, just like reading a lot. And I recently got a job because I'm a big girl, and you have to do big girl things, and that's kind of into my reading a lot. I don't like it.
What are you doing for work? No.
I work now on like the back end of influencing, so I work at an agency, and so I'm like contracting. I like to contract my friends first, but searching for influencers, all within the American market, of course. But that's like 8 hours on my day that I could be reading a book. It's crazy vibes.
So what's it like changing from being in front of the camera to being on the managerial side of things?
I think at the very essence of me, I love to put people on, which is why I share in general. Like, it's why like my content is usually educational, because I want to put somebody on. So me being in the space I'm in allows for diversity, because I'm gonna look for people that look like me first. I'm gonna be aware that people like me don't get specific opportunities, but it also allows me to be a little bit more fair, because I'm aware of that. So I'm looking for balance within it. And I get to see all the things that we need on the back end as creators to make us as lucrative as possible, and also the things that brands think about when they're trying to find influencers and trying to navigate campaigns and all that stuff. The back end is really important. So just learning skills on the other end so that when I leave this country, I can just continue to implement everything.
There's a topic that I kind of want to touch on that you've mentioned briefly. Also, I just want to be nosy. So, going overseas, becoming friends with people, being here, being friends with people, influencing, meeting new people. How do you keep those friendships alive? How do you know who's genuinely being your friend or not genuinely being your friend? And how do you like cut off people when you need to cut off people?
I've never actually had to cut anybody off. So I'm lucky for that. And I'm non-confrontational, so that would be very stressful if I had to. I would say I was lucky though. Making the friends that I have in the industries. And I think a lot of that was because it was early up. But the New York scene, when I was in it, New York has always been New York, so you're always going to have a plethora of people and attitudes and, points of view. The people that I found have always been genuine, and I'm, still close to them, to this day, be at their weddings, all that kind of stuff. I'm lucky for that, but maybe I'm just a really good person. I attract good things.
Manifesting. Do you think you have a fake people radar?
I don't know if I have a fake people radar. Might be too autistic for that. But
maybe the autism
is the fake people radar.
The fake people radar.
It's also 100%.
I think it's you know what it is? It's not fake people radar. It's game recognized game. Because if you're a fake person and I see you being fake and I'm like, oh,
this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Is there value here? Okay. If there's value here, let's play, dude. But if it's just you cozying up with nothing to offer to the situation, then no one's winning. You have to be smart about it. So I don't think it's necessarily I'm searching out for oh no, the fakes, keep away the fakes. It's okay, if you're befriending me for something that I have, dude, what do you have? Have something so we can all have something together.
Okay, that also just clued and sparkle in my brain to be even more nosy.
Yeah.
So, how does this influence your romantic life?
Oh, there's none. Have you seen the island that we're on? There's nothing here. It's dead. It's a dead zone. Not on the fault of anybody else. It's just an island. So everybody's attached to everybody in one way or another.
And you're determined to not overlap?
I'm determined to not overlap. And also, I like winners. I like to date winners and leaders, and because I like charismatic people, and charismatic people are genuinely people that are, they bring people towards them. When you've dated one, you cut out a large chunk of people, because now everyone knows you're attached to that person for whatever reason, whenever it happened. And now there's
feels so pointed. If that was a specific.
But it's now there's a lot of people that look at you and then attach you to someone.
Do people attach you to somebody?
People attach me to, I guess, a couple people, and it's
These are past or friends or
past friends. It's all because Barbados is just so tiny, so it's it's very hard to.
Do you feel if that's just the friend group or people that you know? Because I feel people outside might see you and not necessarily attach you to anybody because they're
I don't know, sister. Last year I was on a cruise in England and somebody was hypothetically, and I said, oh god, here it goes. And they're just hypothetically, I heard that you dated a colleague of mine. We're in London. Who the heck cares? He's
first of all,
he's hypothetically, if I told you were pretty, hypothetically, and he just kept saying hypothetically. I'm
first of all, I'm talking. You're not gonna hypothetically one more time.
If you're saying I'm pretty, just say I'm pretty. You don't have to bring up who you know that I dated either. But it's just one of those things, you can just say I'm pretty. And I already know you have a connection to this person because I see with my eyes where we are. leave it up to me to decide. And I've had people come to me being like, oh, we could definitely deal, but we can't because such and such. Oh, that's not it. It's because you are ugly. That's not why we can't deal. It's because I don't like you. It's not because of such and such. It's because me. And so
I would like to meet some of these Delulu people.
oh my God, they're all around you.
Because I live under a rock.
They're
and
everywhere.
It's really always at my house, in my bed, because I love to be by myself. You've been with a person, whoever, we're talking generally. You've been with a person, you've been linked with this person because you're on a small island. And then people never forget. And then it's like, well, why are you never forgetting? Like, why are you holding on to it so
I think
bad?
my analogy of that, though, like, because I always have to explain this, like, when I'm away to my friends, because they move away from where they live.
Mm-hmm.
We all stay, not we all, but we end up staying here, even if you visit. Like, you think people forget because you leave and you go away and you do something else. You come back and you realize, well, these people are not at standstill, but they're still here. So their triggers are going to be the same triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Their everyday situation is going to be the same everyday situation. We constantly live in a high school.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it from our generation to the generations above us. Like,
So do you think that that's just an island thing?
I think it's a small town thing. Not specifically an island thing, but it's a close proximity thing.
Mhm.
If you don't leave your bubble, then everything within your bubble is going to be your constant, like, state of mind and focus. And
Does social media make that worse?
And social media does make it worse if you're, like, public with certain things. But social media kind of extends your bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a social, like, you get a footprint that's always there.
Double-edged sword, kind of?
Kind of double-edged sword. Like, if I ever post somebody ever again, it's because it's my wedding day. Or
It's going to be me, 100%.
Or actually, I might have lied, because if they're really cute and I can make money off of couples content, I will. Because if we gotta be here, you gotta be making money.
Don't do that.
Diara again.
I was just about to say, but the thing about the Diara and Ken situation is, like, that's very stressful. But Diara was done for letting him have any type of touch on that money after what he did to her.
It's crazy work. But, like,
He was
you
never
think
gonna
that
have
you love-
access.
You love each other, and you're like, okay, we're gonna split amicably, and I'm not gonna hate you, and we're gonna be
That man was
cordial.
warning her up and down.
He was, but she didn't want to believe it. I don't want to say that she didn't know,
But she
didn't
knew.
want to believe it.
She knew by the end, and that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
you are not touching my bank account of money that we made under the pretense of being a it couple.
Mm-hmm.
Go do it with somebody else, because you know what it was. She was the draw. He was never the draw.
Yeah.
She was the draw.
For real.
That's her
For
money.
real.
So there was no way that I was gonna let him have any of that money. So when I say couples content, I mean that you gonna have the money with me when we in the couple. When you not, you are gone.
Fair.
Unless it's a case where, like, you already have your socials, I already have my socials. We come together.
Mhm. And then it overlaps.
Then it overlaps.
You can say, oh, yeah, you're actually an asset in this.
Right. If not, if we're hinging on the fact that, oh my God, sad single Shantal finally has a boyfriend, let's support this content, that money is mine forever. It's never gonna be yours.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I was crazy for doing that.
She really was. And then he just took it all.
Insane behavior. Bum!
How do people do that? Like,
Because he
genuinely don't feel anything to just taking money that's not yours.
and you know he was using that money to woo girls.
Yep. These same people that
And
he
that's
was
just
talking to.
bum-ass behavior. He was being a bum. She met him as a bum. He stayed a
Because
bum.
didn't she, like, keep doing content and then he was just, like, falling off the face of the earth?
Yeah.
He fell off.
Yeah.
It was like literally, he was like, oh, he doing one channel, and it was like Brox.
Yeah, and you know who's upkeeping it. She's upkeeping it.
Because she was putting all of that
exactly.
into the
She's
content.
probably, obviously they would have an editor by then, but she was probably doing the schedule. She was
Mhm.
probably making sure he showed up. That's her money. That's her work. She's correct to sue him.
Mhm.
But not all of the couples end in, like, fraud. Some just end, and then
I feel like all of them that.
they end badly because
Yeah.
they're public. Then they have to. And
why?
because they can end well, but
There's like
you're-
accent over and
yeah.
pressure.
But you're in a space where you now have more access. Both you and a man. Giving a man access, crazy. A man without access, still crazy. So, like, it will never end well.
I want to know why they broke up. So bad.
Oh, asking? I don't know, actually.
I just want to know for knowing's sake.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's like you as a follower, now you feel like you need to know something.
I feel like at the beginning, when they were like, oh, we're getting divorced, I was like, fine, I don't really care why you're getting divorced, whatever. But then when she was doing he was somebody that I didn't know, and they were a certain person in the family was saying certain things, and they were manipulating and blah, blah, blah. And then when she was like on top of him and taking Snapchats and all that, I was like, girl, I love this energy, but I need you to like drop the video.
Yeah, just
say
tell
what
us.
happened.
And I think that's always the little switch up.
Children.
Because you've shared everything already, and now you've shared you getting together, you shared you when it was good. Mm-hmm. You have to share when it's bad.
I feel that
not when it's bad, but you have to share when you're done. You don't owe us the entire conversation.
Yeah, but like at least a little something. Like if you're gonna bring it,
say it.
Say that. Like
say it.
Out it. Why are you being so hush hush? I'm like, I don't want to speak ill. If he did something, he did it.
Yeah, I think also too, it's like you don't want people to come back on you and be like, oh, you're doing this for attention. So there's tons of reasons why you can't. Of course, you're doing it for monetization purposes.
Just accept that you are and milk it. Go ahead, babes, milk that.
Yeah, for sure.
Deserve all the money that you're getting out of this. If I'm going to be in emotional turmoil, emotional damage is happening, give me that money, please. Thanks.
I agree. Pay it back.
Like,
pay it forward. Actually, I agree.
If I'm gonna be crying at night and I'm crying by myself, why not pick up that camera? Yeah, and say, you know what? Let's make a video, because one, I'm gonna yap yap, and then two, I'm gonna get paid for yap yapping.
I think too, like for me, because I've made a breakup video before, it's also a case of like other people are going through it.
Yeah, so they can relate.
And it's relatable content, and everybody's not built to share in that manner. And most people think it's like oversharing or it's desperate or it's lame, and it's like, no, because some people, we always have this talk about representation and how representation matters. It matters across the board. Like some people are just legitimately like sitting down broken hearted and they have nothing to do. They want to share in that misery of somebody, or like see somebody going through it and seeing somebody come out on the other end of it. All that kind of stuff is important content to share with a community that you built, because these people are supporting you as a person.
Sometimes it's also just therapeutic to talk.
It always is.
Like, just getting it off your chest.
And Tumblr was deleted for a very long time. We had nothing else to do.
Just saying, okay, I'm sad right now. I don't know how to cope with these feelings. And I just need to... Like, there's no one to talk to. I don't have friends. Or even if I do have friends, I don't necessarily want...
Yeah, I just want to say this in a public forum with a diary, post it, make a couple dollars. But also, I just want to get it off my chest, dude. And people do that all the time. They just do it in smaller, you know. Every time you have a line and it's a bunch of girls, somebody's going to have to lament about a situation that they've gone through. Some people are just choosing to lament to millions. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. But yeah, dating in Barbados is not possible. When I do go overseas, I try. And then I realize, because I'm not really good at talking to people, and my first point of action when seeing someone, I only know if I'm attracted to you from, well, not from your personality, because that's lame, no. If you're attractive, you're attractive, but I know I want to talk to you if I can feel like the charisma or like the little bit of bite, and I can't really get that online immediately when you're like swiping through apps, and so that always poses an issue. I feel like I have to meet somebody in the wild. Apps just don't work for me.
People want to be dusty and have significant others, and you meet them in the wild and they don't tell you.
Absolutely, and that's why you should just not date in general. That's my stance on it, personally.
Yep. So we're kind of coming to the end of it. I'll ask you one question after this. What's a challenge that you faced that you've completely changed your perspective on life?
I think my biggest challenge to date, I know everybody mentions COVID. Mine was kind of after COVID, because COVID was great. We were cleaning up on social media. Like, I got signed. I was doing like TV commercials that were airing across America. Like, I was having a good time during COVID. It was after, because COVID essentially, because everything shut down, it took away the opportunity for me to work as like on stage as a singer. So when it came time for me to start applying for like work visas, that entire year that we would have been given to do our work to prove like, okay, this is why she would have a visa to work somewhere, to work here long term, was null and void. And America's not going to give you it back. They're not going to be like, oh darn, a pandemic, here's another year. They don't do that. So when I got back home and I did out all of my portfolio and everything was influencer focused, because that's what sustained me for the entire like year or 2 years that COVID was happening in America specifically. And then when I went into like giving my application for my work visa and stuff, it got rejected. And it was like a couple things. One of them, the lady here is like, influencing isn't a real job, which we know isn't true. But, you know, what am I going to say? It is a real job, Karen. Can't say that. Second one is like, she was like, you don't have enough like ties to Barbados, which is true, because I was living away for the last like 8 years. Like, I don't have a child, I don't have a car, I don't have a house, I don't have like things that tie you here, because I don't want that. And it's never my goal to have anything that ties me here besides crop over. And so
I feel that's so hard.
That doesn't sound like a legitimate thing to her, where when she's like, so what's stopping you from going to America and never coming back? And I'm like, well, one, I don't want to be in there for that long. That doesn't sound right to her, because she's just like, please, of course you want to be there forever. And two, I want to be able to come back and run over at Christmas, because those I come back all the time. You see that. It's in front of you. It's plain. Like, you have it all there in front of you, seeing me come in and come out for a reason. And the third thought is me even being here and applying, because I could have not come back after the pandemic at all. I could have just stayed there and been like, a lot of other people found somebody to marry or something and like stayed over there, but I didn't. I came back. And yeah, so that kind of derailed me, because those 2 years felt like I was on an up.
Intrusive thought. Lavender marriage.
Oh, I would do it immediately. That's my goal in life.
Do you not know where lavender marriage? You marry someone of the opposite sex who is not attracted to you. They're
you
attracted
marry
to
your
the
gay bestie.
same. I was trying not to say that.
Okay.
I was trying to make it sound so diplomatic. Like,
No.
yeah, you pretty much marry your gay bestie.
And this is my issue. Gay marriage is legal now.
Yeah.
And so when I look at all my friends, I'm like, that's crazy, you have rights. And now mine are gone. Because now I can't get into the country, because you can actually marry your boyfriend.
Yep.
Sucks.
But yeah, so the lavender marriage, you pretty much, well, yeah, you don't necessarily have to have sex or anything. You could just. Some people do. Some people say
some people do. Some people
that
do.
they, can do those things and still get satisfaction. Some people have agreements where you can go be with your side piece. I'll be with my side piece.
Yeah.
I will be legally binded, and then like we'll come home and we'll kiki and we'll talk about it over wine.
Literally.
About our dates and all the stuff that's been happening.
It's my dream.
Yeah.
Because one, they're going to be attractive. So you're going to be an attractive couple.
Yeah.
You're going to get to do things that the two of you like together.
Also, babies are a thing. And then you get really cute babies.
Yeah. Oh, right. So that was just a big setback. And the visa thing. That was a big setback. And it threw me more into like faith and more into church, because I was like, well, whereas I feel like this is happening to me and my life is ending, clearly is not, because God gave me a will to want to share, a will to want to create, and the talents to do so. So if he gave me them, he like put that purpose on me, because it will happen. So I just need to trust and when it happens, and then just prepare myself for when the time has come. So that's what I've been doing, like keeping up with my voice lessons, going to the gym, like making sure everything is positioned in a way that when the time comes that he gives me the okay, it's like big level okay. I think I've just learned to be more patient and to be less focused on what my end goal is, and more just be like, okay, there's a journey here that I need to be a part of, and I need to be cognizant while I'm a part of it, so that the end goal doesn't feel like the finish line. It just feels like a continuous way of living, because the end goal I have for me now might not be what God's end goal is. So I need to just not coast, but do what I need to get where I need to, but in smart, faithful manners.
So our closing question, what advice would you give to creatives to make their mark while still, prioritizing mental health and remaining grounded?
Making your mark. I think the obvious answer is obviously like find topics you like and create around them. But I think the biggest thing is create as authentically as you can, and don't worry about who it's reaching at this point in time, because it only takes one video to reach the designated person that needs to see it, and it grows from there. Like, I don't think you should ever kind of think of creating content and it's hitting immediately. You're creating like a legacy, and you're creating a community, and you should be creating things that you're proud of putting out. And also, the things that you're putting out should be a real good reflection of like you as a person, so that when people come to you, you don't feel like if you're burning out having to perform to create something else. It's just like second nature. It's just breathing to create how you create, because you're starting from an authentic place instead of a pretend, like put on, like this is what other people are doing that works for them, so it should work for me kind of place, because that's when you burn out immediately.
So thank you so much for coming on Muse to Talk. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in our next episode. Bye.